All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome into the first episode of my yet-to-be-named podcast. I've kind of been kicking around the idea for a while of doing this. I've got a little background in sports and music. I was a former sports writer, and I've been wanting to do this for a little while. So in just a second here, I'm going to, hopefully, if he can get into the meeting, I'm going to bring in a guest. My good friend Clyde Munnings, who I went to high school with. We played music together. We played sports together. Clyde has his own YouTube channel. It's called King Petty Chronicles. I'm going to put a link to that later on in the meeting. But today we are going to be doing a Patriots season preview. So we're going to be looking at notable additions, both offensively and defensively. We're going to talk a little bit about the quarterback debate. Will it be Mac Jones? Will it be Cam Newton? Will Mac Jones see any starts? Should he see any starts? And then we're kind of going to comb over the schedule and then maybe a couple side topics that I'm just curious to hear his opinion on. But like I said, Clyde is he's got a channel. He does a lot of I believe like Call of Duty, video game type stuff. I'll let him explain that. That's not my area of expertise. I'm pretty bad at video games except for like Madden and 2K. Yeah, hopefully he joins us here in a second. As soon as he jumps in the waiting room, I'll let him in. There he is. All right, cool. Well, welcome to the program, Clyde. A second to get loaded in here. Clyde, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
What's going on, man?
What's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I like what's that, a Gronk jersey?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Before the leaving.
I mean, it's fitting for what we're talking about today. So
yeah.
That's good.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Like I said, my laptop died, so that was where all my notes were.
That's okay. That's all right. I got you covered. Don't worry about it. Dude, did I tell you about the game I went to when my buddy and he won tickets through like this crazy contest, and we went to Pat Seahawks, and it was when like LeGarrette Blount was on the team, and he rushed for like 3 touchdowns that day. It was crazy. But Gronk, and we were right down on the field. It was cool. So Gronk got hit by Earl Thomas and freaking punctured a lung. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in person. I mean, he got lit up, and Gronk's a big guy, but it was pretty crazy. But anyway, so I was just talking about how you've got a YouTube channel, and I can't accurately describe it myself. So if you want to, just talk about that for like a few minutes, what you do on there.
So my YouTube channel is called King Petty Chronicles. It's really just I talk about what I want, when I want, and how I feel about it. It's a real good. It started off as just like a venting thing to get off, discuss what I want to discuss. I touch on a wide variety of topics. There's sports in there, there's nerd stuff, comic book stuff in there, there's anime stuff in there. So it's like, I'm really an open book. I'll talk about what my viewers like. So, and I like to be engaging with that. Most recently, it has turned into a lot of my Twitch streaming. So I stream on Twitch, and I've been putting a lot of those clips and stuff up there. And so, like I said, we talked about this, but I'm going to be putting this video on the channel as well, as a King Petty Chronicles, just a little new thing to switch up. Yeah. And, that's pretty much it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you kind of gave me the idea, because you went on there and you've talked about the Pats before on there, and I was like, yeah, that's, it's pretty cool. Like, it's worth, and I've been trying to, find a way to give it a try for a while. And, I've thought about actual podcasting, but it's pretty expensive and got the Zoom account. So, but anyway, let's get into it.
You got to start somewhere, and then you work your way up to all those things.
That's right. All right, so I'm going to try to pull up this slideshow thing I've got here. Can you see that?
Well, I just see you now. Okay, yeah, I see it. Yeah, I can see the computer screen.
Bigger now?
Yep.
All right. So yeah, let's start on offense. These are just guys who they've added other players, but these are guys who I just thought were, significant additions. I mean, obviously they went out and spent a ton of money, which the team doesn't usually do.
Sure did. Boy, they spent a lot of money.
Spent a lot of money, yeah. So
you got
you got Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, both wide receivers. Hunter Henry, good tight end. Obviously, we're going to get into Mac Jones in a minute, but they, drafted a quarterback. Jonnu Smith, another really good tight end. Trent Brown, gigantic offensive lineman. That guy's like 6'8", almost 400 pounds. And this guy, Ramondre Stevenson, he's a rookie. But they say he's kind of a LeGarrette Blount type of running.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I know about him. I'm good. I'm looking to see how he does. They have a lot of talk about rookies, especially in New England, starting or even making it onto the starting squad. We have an enormous running back option right now. We have so many running backs. We have more running backs than the Patriots have probably ever had at once, considering we're a team that's been a passing team. We've got, is it Harris?
Damian Harris, yeah.
We got Harris, then we got Sony Michel. We still got James White, and now we're adding Stevenson. And so we got people who are coming in that are looking great. We do need somebody who can run through somebody. We do need a LeGarrette Blount. We need somebody who's, when it's 3rd and 1, we can option to send somebody right through the hole. We can't be always ditching out to James White or Sony Michel and think somebody's going to make it all the way to the outside and tiptoe and dance around and get that 1 yard when it really turns off to a pitch. And you got to get 5-6 yards now.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I'm excited to see him play and
2 big tight ends again.
Yep. Yeah. I guess out of the two, Jonnu Smith is like the better, like just overall player, but I guess Hunter Henry's kind of more like the pure pass catcher kind of guy,
Yeah, I'm definitely. I see that as being one of the things, because Hunter Henry, he has more yards and touchdowns than Smith does. But like you said, you can use Smith on a full, on a blocking play, and you can use him more versatile. Pass blocking, he's got more options to stay back and protect somebody. I see him as more when the pocket collapses, he's an option to dish out to, and he's somebody who's still not going to go down easy.
That was a glaring hole in the Patriots roster last year. We didn't have good tight ends, and those guys. I don't know. The team was I'm surprised they won 7 games last year. Like that's good.
I mean, outside of the offensive line, I feel like Cam Newton was the biggest person on the offense.
Oh yeah, he was. I mean, how many rushing touchdowns did he have last year? Like 12.
He set a record for Patriots history.
Yeah, he did set a Patriots record. Yeah. Yeah. So any other names on that list stand out to you? Any other guys?
Well, not that stand out. I do believe not Harris. Was it, like I said, my laptop died. I lost all my notes. Who is it that just requested a trade off?
On the offense?
Yeah, wide receiver, I think.
N'Keal Harry, yeah.
Yeah, there it is. So with that,
he can go away. I don't care. But
I understand that, but we can't cut him because that's money. We need that $2 million. So
he's a first-round draft pick. I mean, he's just got to prove himself. He's got to.
So, but at the same time, we just brought in, like you said, Aguilar and all this. We brought in all this talent, and you are a first round. But like I said, also the Patriots and rookies, we don't do that. You got
wide receivers.
It doesn't matter what round pick you were, what number pick you were. You have to come out and produce.
Right.
And so if you're not producing, we can use you through training camp. We can use you through preseason to get everybody else on point, as we've seen them do that before. Like people who think they're going to do what they want to do when you come here versus what we need you to do. It doesn't go well with Belichick.
Remember they signed? It was a couple years ago, but remember they signed Reggie Wayne, and he was like one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. but he like you said, he came here and wanted to do what he wanted to do and didn't want to learn the system and didn't even make the team. So I was hoping we get Julio Jones. I really had my fingers crossed for that.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm glad we didn't, because he would have wanted, like, he's on the way out too. Like, these people want money because of what they've done. And at the same time, we need to invest in going forward. And how much more are you going to be there for the forward journey?
Right. And a place like Tennessee makes sense for him because they've got that kid, AJ Brown, who's just a freaking beast. And
they're stacking up too. It's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and he can just, if Julio's playing the number 2 wide receiver, that's perfect, where he's at in his career, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, Aguilar, I kind of, I put his picture on there because I hope he's good. He's kind of been a guy, he had the drops when he was in Philly, had a really good season out in Vegas last year, but.
Yeah, he did. I think it's 8 touchdowns. Yeah, 8 touchdowns last season. Which put him at a career 26. So that means he added a good chunk of his career touchdowns last season.
Yeah, and I always liked him as a receiver. He freaking killed us when we played the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Belichick not putting Malcolm Butler out there on him, but what can you do?
We all know. We were all upset, but we also understood the dynamic.
Yeah. And then Kendrick Bourne, he's kind of a wild card. He's a good receiver out in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Garoppolo, who I wish was still here, was throwing him the ball. But anyway, all right. Well, I don't think. Well, like I said, we're going to get to the quarterback thing in a minute. So let's go to defense.
Okay.
All right. And I said notable defensive additions and returns because the defense is absolutely just going to be better this year. There's no way around it. Like, you had so many guys opt out because of COVID and like.
Right. We got Van Noy coming back from Miami.
Right.
Like maybe he just needed a break from the winters. Like, I don't know what that was, but Well,
yeah, he kind of puzzles me a little bit because he kind of badmouthed Belichick on the way out the door, and now he's back. And I think Bill knows if Bill's a businessman, if you can help the team, he doesn't care what you say about it.
Yeah, you help the team, it's always water under the bridge.
Right. So yeah, you got Van Noy back at linebacker. We got Jalen Mills coming from Philly, who's a corner, kind of like a Patrick Chung type of quarterback, safety hybrid kind of guy. Cameron McGrone, who's a linebacker they drafted. He's a rookie out of Michigan, and I'm just pulling for him because I do this sports card thing. I've got his rookie card right here, so hoping for good things for him. Matt Judon, who's pictured, he's supposed to be a good addition, good rusher. Hightower's back. He didn't play last year.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully and I'm going to get to him and Gilmore. Both of them, there's talk that they could hold out. I hope I don't know what the heck's going to happen to Gilmore, but anyway.
Gilmore deserves more money. I'll say that.
Right.
What if you ask me, I feel like they should do him with incentives. Give him incentive money. Like if we're worried about this cap space, then throw incentive money. You could throw 2-3 million extra in incentives at him, and right. I'm sure that would keep him happy wherever he is. Like, you're in there last year. You can give you a 1-year deal, however much, and then throw so and so incentives on top of that, versus giving you however much you really want for this 1 year. We can step under, but give you these incentives.
Right. No, I like that too. And it would be a waste to let him go when you've got a guy like J.C. Jackson on the other side.
Yeah.
My dad met him at the Big E once. But anyway, yeah. So then this, I worry about Hightower holding out too, but and these other guys, Godshow and Henry Anderson, they're just solid players. But the defense was really thin last year, and it was.
It was a lot of people opted out. A lot of people. One of my friends, I spoke with him. When things started looking bad for us, he was like, "Man, look, if I was you guys, don't even worry about it, because what's going to happen is y'all going to get these draft picks, and Bill's going to spend his house money, and y'all going to restack for next year. And this was in like week 6. And I was like, all right. And it kept going on. He's a Cam Newton fan. He's a Panthers fan. So he wanted to see Cam do well still.
Sure.
So, that's what he was paying attention to our season. And he was like,
yeah.
man, Bill's not worried about nothing, man. This is just a game with house money. And he's going to rebuild the house afterwards. And you see this record spending that we're doing. He is doing just that. Like, he is rebuilding this. We're going to talk about quarterbacks in a minute, but he is making sure that the quarterback, whoever it is, has the weapons they need.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. No, and it's it's a tough league. I mean, there's a lot of guys, there's a lot of teams that are just stacked right now, and it's like, Brady's down there in Tampa now, just killing it, and it's you don't
an MCL tear.
You don't recover from losing a guy like that overnight, But anyway, yeah, let's get to the big one here. So here we go. Mac Jones versus Cam Newton. What's going to happen? What do you think?
I'd like to think there's going to be harmony. I would love to think that what hasn't really been done in NFL history is a real tag team quarterback duo. Like, if you have someone that can come out, and it doesn't matter if they come off the field and the next guy coming in is just as bad, and you got to worry about, like, oh, okay, well, maybe, like, Tom never came off the field and somebody went in, and Hoyer went in, somebody went in, and it was like, oh, well, we got to worry. It's just like Tom's out there. If we have someone out there, Cam can move the ball. If he can stop trying to move the ball on his own so much, if you can learn.
What do you mean by that?
Cam always wants to do it himself. Like, he won't wait for the pocket to collapse to run the ball.
Right.
So he needs more pocket awareness. I feel like Mac they can help each other. Like, I feel like if you could do a first, second down, you could do a whole series of Cam and then a whole series of Mac, and the defense is still worried about what's going on.
Right. I mean, the Saints kind of did that with Drew Brees and Taysom Hill. They kind of had that, collaborative thing.
But Drew always comes back to the main light,
right,
and then takes the driver's seat and remains there. But if we have someone, you can always switch it up. Like, it doesn't, like, all the flea flicker plays, these quarterback option plays that we never even had the option to look at because Tom was so slow.
Right.
Like, we had a whole playbook that was collecting dust for 20 years because Tom was just slower than everything.
Yeah.
And we were able to pull this out. We were able to pull it out and run these plays successfully with Cam. And we've got just on the dish out, you grab Cam, here's a quick dish to James White, and the ball's still moving. We have many options that we can do now. And I feel like Jones, I don't watch college sports. So I don't know about your college stats, because you got to come up to the NFL and you got to make your name known there.
I mean, yeah, he's an Alabama guy. I think that's Nick Saban, right? So him and Belichick are good friends, and I think that was kind of the genesis of the whole process. But yeah, I think Mac Jones, him and Cam are totally different quarterbacks. And like you were saying, Mac Jones probably brings you more of what Brady used to give you, kind of a game manager, can make accurate short throws. And Cam brings a different type. He's just a different quarterback completely. And, I think I feel for the guy because, I play fantasy football, so I follow all this, and I had him on my team when it was his MVP season in Carolina, and he was just so out of control. And he is one of the best, pure athletes I've ever watched play any sport. I put him up there with LeBron and any of these other guys who are just athletic, phenomenons. And it's I do worry about his health. I worry, because
that's normal. And a lot of our guys are really on the exit. The problem is we had Tom so long, we forgot what it's like for people to be old. Because Tom was that, and then you look at it, you're like, bro, you're 32, it's almost over. And but Tom is Still going strong. But talk about 32, 2 injuries. You're like, I don't want to trade you. You don't deserve double-digit millions like for 2, 3, 2 for 1 year. If you're gonna go out there and it's a possibility you get injured week 2.
Right. No, that's true. And I remember when the Patriots would play the Panthers, and it drove me nuts because we just couldn't catch Cam. I remember Rob Ninkovich just chasing him around, and he would just kill us. He would every time. I don't know what the Brady versus Cam Newton record is, but I think that they beat us more times than we beat them. And they had that good rushing attack, and what I will say is going back to the tight end thing. Cam was at his best when Greg Olsen was on the Panthers, and if he's got good tight ends, he seems to favor that. So hopefully that's a positive thing.
And I mean, I think Mac I don't think he's gonna sit the bench. I don't think that at all. I do feel like he's gonna play his fair share of snaps all season long. I think preseason is really gonna go tit for tat for the both of them. They might do a game apiece, they might do a quarter apiece, they might do a series apiece. And then it seems like, we might give him the whole quarter. If he's feeling it, don't need to take him out.
Yeah, I was gonna say Cam doesn't need to risk anything in the preseason either. If he doesn't even want to play, he shouldn't. But
I understand, but he ain't time yet. You're not time. Your position is not solidified.
That's true.
That you can take these breaks. Because if Matt come out and start beasting, and you think, season one, we're just gonna week 1, we're just gonna sit you down while he's on a hot streak. If we went 4-0 in the preseason and Matt played all 4 games, you think Cam is gonna come out and start?
Probably not. Yeah, that's a good point.
Come out, they'll put Mac in first half. And if he's not performing, then they'll get Cam, but they're gonna let him go.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting thing, and it'll be fun to follow, for sure. I mean, it's tough with Cam because like you said, we have Brady, or we had Brady, and he just keeps going on forever. But it's not an unusual age for a quarterback to hang it up, and I hope he can get back to, the guy we saw 4 or 5 years ago. And even if he's 80% of that, if he can do that, then I think we're at least a playoff team. I mean, it's
definitely. With on paper, we're a playoff team. On paper. Now the schedule, that's gonna make things harder.
We're going next. Yeah.
Yeah, the schedule. But I mean, I like it both. I'd love for there to be a harmony between these two. If we can find a way that makes our offense work, we're not losing anything by pulling out Cam. We're not losing anything by pulling out Mac. They can both go in, and you got to worry about a touchdown regardless.
Right, and I think the best thing, like you mentioned, the harmony between these guys. I think one of the best things about Cam is his leadership, and he's not a jerk, to guys who come into the locker room. He's a great person. Yeah, he's a great guy, and I think that'll probably, like you said, help that. And I think he knows that, his injuries is this and that. There wasn't anybody giving him a chance except for us when Carolina let him go. It was
right. I mean, and he said, and when they talked to him about Mac, he didn't sound, conniving or anything. He sound, he's I understand why they do it. This is what this is. This is business. Everybody wants, and that's what I try to tell so many people that this is not a sport for them. This is business. This is their job. This is your 9 to 5. Right. And if you want to be the starter for your business, you need to outperform the other people that are trying to do your job. And most jobs everybody's doing the same thing, but it's not the same in the NFL. Everybody's doing the same thing, but only one person gets to do it live in front of people. And you want to be that person that's live. I love you, Cam, but I'm here to Mac is I'm here to be that person that they pull up and see. And Cam at the same time has that same love for Mac, but he's also here to be the person that people pull up to see.
Right. Yeah. and good for both of
There
them
to
for
be
just
harmony, them
doing
to
it.
share the harmony would be great. But if anything, I'd rather see Cam do it because we know Cam is more on the back and he's on the sunset of his career, and Mac is on the sunrise.
Right. No, and that's a good point. I mean, and I guess my next question was, if Cam does struggle with injuries, if he were to get hurt, would you feel okay about Mac taking the reins?
I gotta see him play. I haven't seen him play yet, so
I've seen him throw a little bit, but yeah. I want to, dude.
Once I see him in the preseason, I might check out some of these because I think they're doing a game with the Eagles next, a joint summer camp game.
Oh yeah. Well, next weekend, I think it is. Their training camp starts.
Everybody else, Mac and Cam go back this Thursday.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to catch it, but because I'm going up to Maine with my family next weekend. But if I can, I'm going to try to get down to one of those practices because I've done that before. It's the greatest thing, man. Like, all you got to do is drive down to Gillette, free parking, you basically sit on like high school bleachers and just watch these guys practice. It's kind of cool. I was like, I brought a football. I'm such a nerd. The first time I went, I brought a football with me to get signed because sometimes the player, they'll hang out and sign balls after. I was from 3 feet from Gronk, and he almost signed my football, but he didn't. And he signed some kids' football, so that's okay. I'd rather a kid deserves the autograph, but
Switch football at that. Switches footballs later.
Dude, in person, he is one of the most gigantic people I have ever seen I felt like a midget standing next to him. It was terrifying. I'm like, this guy could pick me up and throw me across a football field. It's like, yeah. So anyway, let's get to the schedule. Hopefully this works. Yep, here we go. You see that all right?
Yeah, I can see it. It's going to be a rough schedule, I say.
All right, so let's skip these preseason games, and we open with the Dolphins at home. So you got Tua, you've got that's a good team. They don't generally play well up here, so I think we can win that.
The problem with the Dolphins is we always seem to lose one game to them.
It's always a split, yeah.
So I would prefer to lose to them here than them being the last game of the season, because that last game of the season could come down to us being in the playoffs, and they could have another Miami Miracle, which I had. That was
a bad day. That was a very bad
call. I don't know who thought they should put Gronk on defense and he should be at the end there, but that person I hope got fired that day, because I don't feel like that Gronk called that. I mean, I don't feel like Bill called that, but my man tripped, and you just saw the whole game go by. It was my fault, man. It was my fault. I did that.
Oh yeah, that was not fun.
I had my superstitions. My wife slept through the whole game. And you know how we were winning the whole game. I woke her up for that play, and that happened. So I blame myself for that loss, because I said I should have just let her sleep instead of waking her up to see that Gronk trip.
Yeah, that was really ugly. That wasn't fun. But we won the Super Bowl that year, right? Was that when we played the Rams?
Yeah, I think so. I think we did go on to win the Super Bowl.
I didn't think that we would that year. I thought I was really questioning whether we could go the distance.
Wasn't that was the boring Super Bowl, wasn't it?
Yeah, my buddy was at that one.
That was like the lowest scoring Super Bowl in history,
or something like
that. Was number 6, I think.
Who scored the touchdown in that game? Was it Rex Burkhead or something? I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was only one touchdown. And then the rest was just field goals.
Or no, it might have been Sony Michel. I don't know which back. One of the backs scored a touchdown. And yeah, it was a bunch of defense and field goals.
That was a defensive game.
Yeah. All right. So now we got week 2 at the Jets. You're playing a rookie quarterback. Was it Zach Wilson? The Jets don't impress me, but I don't know.
Didn't they win our division last season?
No, it was the Bills.
Yeah, you're right.
Josh Allen. That's a good team.
All right, yeah, I'm not counting the Jets either.
All right. Saints at home.
I'm probably going to give it to the Saints that game. If anything, I would
quarterback for them now.
Huh?
Who's playing quarterback for them now? It's not Drew Brees anymore.
I do not know, but they still got everybody else.
Oh, I think it's isn't Jameis Winston down there?
We might be able to win that one.
Yeah, that guy throws picks like they're going out of style. I mean, he
Yeah, well, who did you say? Who Fitz?
No, Jameis Winston.
Oh yeah. By second quarter, he's only throwing picks.
So we could probably at home. All right, and then you got the Goliath of all games. You got Brady coming back to Gillette.
That's going to be better than the Super Bowl.
I think we're going to lose that.
I believe so too.
I don't think we have much of a chance.
A man can dream in a perfect world that we would win that game. That somehow the harmony between Cam and Mac would show out that night, and
you really need it, yeah. And there's talk on Boston Sports Talk Radio about should Mac Jones even get anywhere near that game, because it's like
yes I believe so, because I believe
so?
that's the best learning experience he'll get is
trial
being
by fire.
You know what I'm saying? Trial by fire, get in there against Tom. Like, because I mean, what's Cam gonna do?
Yeah,
Cam
might not be able to do anything against that defense. I don't know.
You gotta go in, because it's like if Cam is not producing, if Cam starts trying to do the quarterback sneaks every time and getting tackled after 2-3 yards, all right, now you got to go in there. You got to pass. You got to move this ball down the field.
Right.
You got wide receivers. You got tight ends that'll give you that pocket protection. You just got to move the ball.
Yeah. And I guess one thing I will say is that pretty sure Belichick knows how to defend Tom. So
that's I mean, never count Belichick out. Never have, never will.
I hope Hightower sacks him 8 times.
There's gonna be so much animosity, I feel, but I also feel like everyone on the team gets it. Like everyone, because I mean, it's not a strange fact. It's not strange news about how Belichick's coaching ways are. And we're talking about the one player who's lasted the longest under him finally leaving. Is like everyone has always said, it's Belichick. It's Belichick and Brady. It's Belichick and Brady. This is Belichick's team. And, everyone always said you can't do it without him. And for you to go out and do it the very next year without him, now you got to come back and say it to his face.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's true. It's this. They'll be forever linked in this, great debate of who made it happen. And so, the stupid thing is, like, over the years, like, I watch other teams play Brady. Like, there is a way to defend him. You got to rush him down the middle. You can't bring guys off the edge. You got to send it right down the middle, and then he doesn't know what to do.
Because he can't run. He's not fast.
Right. So, like, but I mean, teams for years couldn't defend the Patriots properly.
For 20 years, I've been watching this man not be fast and people not rush him for that. Like, you're gonna give this man, like, and I realize watching football how much an offensive line is important, because we always invested in our O-line because Tom can't run. If it breaks down, Tom's gone. Like, if someone touches his jersey and he feels it, he's curling up and going down. Like, Tom barely would try to fight back and try to get those yards and get the ball off. He would just curl down and be like, I'll get it back next down.
Yeah, I mean, and later on in his career, he developed a little bit. Like, he was always good at, like, moving up in the pocket and, like, evading the rush. Like, he had good footwork. He's not fast, but he had good footwork. And but yeah, if Belichick knows what he's doing, he'll send Hightower and Van Noy up the middle and take his.
They know, man. They know how to get to him. They do it in practice.
Yeah,
that's why they were so good on their defense.
Exactly. So next we got the Texans down in Houston. Deshaun Watson's probably not playing quarterback for them. So
I don't know who their quarterback is. It's so hard. Especially with this offseason, it's so hard to pay attention to who went where. You just got to sometimes just sit down and focus on your team, and then you'll figure, because our team isn't even complete. Our team won't be complete till week 1, if you ask me.
Right. I just don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to let Deshaun Watson play. If they do, that's a different kind of game. But if they have they signed like 5 or 6 quarterbacks, probably in anticipation of him not playing. And if he doesn't play, I think we can beat them. All right. We got Dallas at home. So Dak Prescott.
Here comes New England.
Dallas in New England. Yep.
What's the date of that game? What did I say? October what?
October 17th. Yep.
I think we can do that.
That's
week 5. That's week 7, right?
Hang on, I just muted myself. Week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Week 6.
That's week 6.
Yep.
I'd like to say we'd have our kinks worked out by then, and we can get a W there. If not, I'm definitely calling it the following week at the Jets.
That's a good quarterback and a good offense. Yeah. I don't know much about Dallas's defense, but Dak's pretty good. Yeah, and you're right. Yeah, the Jets, we can definitely beat the Jets at home. All right, this is a good one. You got at the Chargers. So they've got that kid, Justin Herbert. He's a good player. Keenan Allen's a good wide receiver. I can't think of the guy that's a team that's kind of on the come up, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's another team that's in the process of their rebuilding.
Herbert's a really good quarterback, yeah.
So I think that's gonna have to see. So many of these things, so everything can change from week to week. We could be feeling great and then we lose somebody big.
We kicked their ass last year though.
Yeah, but
but it's a different year, you know.
It's a different year, man. It's a different year. We got different players. Hopefully we should do better. But there's no telling what could happen.
Right. And then we're at the Panthers. Who the heck is down? All right. Give me a minute to think. Who is down there now? Oh, it's Sam Darnold from the Jets.
Yeah. They still got Christian McCaffrey?
Oh, yeah.
That should be a good if Sam can stay healthy.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting offense. We've got another kid at wide receiver who's pretty good too. Yeah, that's down there. So that'll be and like you said, Cam's return down there. That'll be interesting. And we got
I have to go to that one.
What's that?
So I might have to go to that one. What's that, November?
How far are you from there?
It's about an hour and a half with traffic.
That's cool. So then we got the Browns at home. The Browns are pretty good. You got Baker, you got OBJ, you got.
Yeah, and they were just getting it together by the end of last season. So
Nick Chubb, the running back, he's pretty good.
That home field advantage might work for us. It'll be November. It's getting a little cold, but Cleveland get cold too. So they're not used. It's not like they're not used to that.
Right. Who's that guy they got on defense who hit the guy with the helmet? You know what I'm talking about? Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was you look for those kind of moments in sports. It's
you do.
It was,
what you gonna do about it?
Fun to watch. All right, then we got
but you're glad to see it.
Then we got the Falcons on the road.
They ain't got no more Julio, so I'm gonna give that one to us.
Yeah, Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley.
The king of choking, Mr. Matt, right there.
Yeah, proud of Boston University. He's one of the worst things to come out of Massachusetts. And then we got Tennessee. We got Tennessee at home. So Julio, there's Julio.
We'll probably lose that one.
I think so. I think they'll run us up and down the field.
But I'd like to win it because I don't want to go back-to-back L's with that Buffalo Bills that next week.
Yeah, we're gonna lose that game. It's there, so yeah, we're not gonna win that. All right,
and it's gonna be in December. I hate that we have 3.5 months of games before a bye. You know how many people can get injured because they don't have any rest?
Yeah, we could get banged up too. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
But at the same time, having a bye that late in the season, we could go in and have our playoff, notification before the end of that coming back from the bye, if we do well. If
Yeah.
we do well.
If. It's a big if. Yeah, you're right.
Well,
No, that's a very
if
good
we
point.
beat the Bills going into, if we have all those wins and we beat the Bills going into the bye week, that'll be a guaranteed. That'll be a good bye. We can sit
That's where you
there.
need that. That's where you want to be. Yeah. No, you're right. That's exactly where you want to be.
Like unlike last season where we had 3 divisional games at the end of the season.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, it's true. That was a interesting end to the year, but what can you do? So then we got, like you said, we got the bye week, and then we're at the Colts. Carson Wentz.
Is that where he's?
What are your thoughts on him?
Well, you know why I don't like him, but he also seems to not be that same person anymore.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about, but
I mean he's been injured. Hey, was he 2 shoulder injuries in now?
Yeah, Who was it wasn't even him who beat us in the Super Bowl.
It was Foles. But
yeah.
I'm talking about what he did all season up until that point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
Up until he got injured. And as I said, then he got injured, Foles stepped in, and then he got injured again the next season, didn't he?
Yeah, he's been kind of a mess, and he seems like kind of a jerk. But what can you do?
You hired him.
I think we can beat that. Well, they got that kid Jonathan Taylor, who's a really good running back. That'll be a tough game. That'll be a tough game in Indy. That'll be tough. And then Buffalo back at home day after Christmas.
Well, whoever wins the first one is going to be the loser's going to be back for revenge. I'd like to say we win and then win again at home.
Jacksonville.
You know, just after a bye, we're going to study that paperwork. They're not going to have that much time to adjust. I feel like they wouldn't adjust to a 2-week off the way we would adjust to a 2-week off.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. So Jacksonville's got that kid, Trevor Lawrence. He's supposed to be really good, but we'll see.
Definitely know whether or not he's good by that point in the season. All right.
That's a great point. Yeah. No, good point. And then we got Miami.
Like I said, if it comes down to it, I would pick unless it's how Bill likes it, where we've got our playoff clinched and he throws the last game to the Dolphins, like because he just lets everybody rest up by letting second string and all. Like that's the only way I see an acceptable loss here is if it's like we've clinched the playoff, whether we win or lose this game. Second string is going in. Everybody that plays the bench is going in. We're not going to be giving our starters so they can burn out and pull a hammy or something or get a concussion and be out 2 weeks.
Brian Hoyer is going in at quarterback. Yeah.
Facts. And he's playing all the positions. He a placeholder, kicking, punting. He's doing all of it.
You think Stidham's even going to make the team?
I don't think so. But I think they're going to use him for training camp.
He sucks.
What are his career stats? Somebody pull it up.
He has more. I know he has more interceptions than touchdowns. It's like a 2 to 4 touchdown interception ratio. He's not good. But yeah, so here's the schedule. And so this is your YouTube channel. Got the link there. Is there any way you can, how can people, I mean, I know they can like and subscribe and do all that. I'm new to this YouTube thing, but
yeah, I do have that. I'm trying to make myself more engaged on all of my social media. So I do have on all my videos you can see in my YouTube, I have a link to it's my link tree, which it has all of my links on it.
Yep.
I didn't send it to you, my bad, but it's like that one link links to my YouTube, to my Twitch, to my Instagram, my TikTok, all of that. Trying to, force myself to be out there and be more active, which will keep me, consistent with my releasing of content.
Okay. So so check out King Petty Chronicles. Definitely if you're, I'm terrible at Call of Duty. I watch you play it and I'm like, how the heck does he even do that? Like I'm like fumbling over the controller when I try to play it.
Man, it's all about fun. You should come in, hop on the stream and be with us, man. It's all about fun. We're not playing for the wins. We're playing for the fun.
What do you play it on? What system?
Call of Duty, I'm playing on PlayStation 4. But
PlayStation 4. Okay.
And on top of that, Call of Duty is cross-platform. So there you can play with people from Xbox, people with PC. Like, it doesn't matter what your console is anymore for Call of Duty.
What do you think of Fortnite and all that?
I missed the wave and I missed it. So
we're getting old. What can we do?
I was a new father then. So my PlayStation did not get that much play for video games. It was really more like Netflix father mode. And then once I came, people say it's great. I don't like the way the graphics and the interface is. I feel like it does tailor towards the younger audience that it is killing it with.
Right.
But
absolutely.
I played every Call of Duty ever made. Before you could even have the internet and play online, up until plugging my house line into the back of my PlayStation 2 to get online.
Were we in high school when you started playing this, or before?
Before. Oh yeah, way before.
Oh wow. Wow. That's cool, man. Yeah. So you got a couple random side topics, but you got to settle a debate that I was having with my friend last night.
Go ahead.
What is the better TV show? Okay, The Sopranos or Breaking Bad?
I have not watched Breaking Bad yet.
Good for you, because I'm on Team Sopranos. So thank you.
I watched Sopranos was great. My wife put me on. We started watching, and I tried to get her to reveal stuff about the end. And she's like, "Just keep watching." I was like, "How's this gonna end?" I don't want those. If somebody's gonna die that I don't want to die, tell me now so I can stop watching it while they're still alive. And
I admire it as a show. I don't know if you remember when we were in high school, I used to do theater, and it's just really good acting. You know, I mean, it's top notch acting. You really
feel about the prequel coming out. I said,
yeah, the prequel. Yeah, that's coming out soon. Yeah.
Are you excited about that?
Is it a movie? Is it a TV series?
I think it's gonna be a series.
Right. I know it's on HBO. I saw a preview for it the other day. Yeah, I'm definitely excited about it. For sure. Maybe we can do this again and talk about it when it comes out.
Sure, we could do it, especially do a partial season check-in, see where we are, how the team's looking, if it's still the same team, if anybody's left, if anybody's gone. We got more people added on.
Right. Yeah, you never know what's gonna happen. All right, so another one more side topic, and then I'll let you go. You and I, obviously we were in the jazz band together in high school. Number one, are you still playing the drums at all?
I don't have a set. I can sit down and still do something, but I do not have a set anymore.
You played multiple instruments in the band.
I did. I played, yeah. I still have my bass amp, my bass itself. When my mom moved from Springfield to DC, a lot of that stuff wasn't able to transfer along.
Your mom's down in DC now?
Yeah, she's in Maryland now, actually. So she moved
cool.
out of DC into Maryland. Her businesses, took her out of the field. But I had my bass, it got mishandled, it got mislost and all the moving and around. But I still do, I have friends that make music, so I still can sit down at a keyboard and play every now and again.
Yeah.
And take me back to the good old days.
Dude, I'm going into I got 3 songs I wrote that I'm going. My friend has a studio up in South Hadley, so I'm going into the studio this week to hopefully record some stuff. He's I play guitar, but he's like 10 times better than me, so he's gonna play lead on the tracks and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so getting back to we were in the jazz band, we played all this different kind of music, and I was watching this video from this guy who has this YouTube channel. It's called The Needle Drop. He does record reviews and this and that and the other thing. And I'm a really big Prince fan. I think he's top 5 artists of all time. But they did this debate, and I don't even think the 2 guys should be mutually exclusive, but they were like, who do you have, Prince or Michael Jackson? And I don't think the two guys can even be compared, but like it was a weird, it just like sparked my mind because I used to be a music writer, and it was like, where are you on that debate?
I agree with you. I don't feel like they're two artists that can be put
Exactly.
can be paired off against each other. Me personally, I liked Michael more growing up, but that's because Prince wasn't making music for kids.
No, no, correct about that.
So like, as I got older, and you hear the appreciation for Prince came later in life. Once I
Right.
learned about his music because it wasn't being advertised towards me, versus Michael Jackson, who had been dancing and stuff since childhood.
Right.
Versus his stuff was always about family and togetherness and fun, and outside of the scariest thing being Thriller. Versus you can't hop on, you can't put Purple Rain on in a room full of children and then leave. Like that's not gonna be.
No, I was listening to a Little Red Corvette earlier. It's like, yeah, it's totally different music, man. And it's like, you're right about that. And I just, that, like, when I heard, I don't know why people put them in the same, like, but it happens. And it's like the weirdest thing. And it's like, they're both great in their own right. And like, just did different things. Like you said, it's like, Michael probably had more of an effect on overall pop culture, but Prince was, Prince was a multi-instrumentalist
Yeah,
genius.
Prince was a behind the scenes person. Like
Right. Right.
And there's so many different things that he did besides make his own music. He made music for almost everybody else.
Right.
And
Right. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, from working with people like Stevie Wonder and all this, like it's not, there's no shortage of what he's done. It's just he wasn't making music for kids. Point blank period. None of his songs you wanted to see as an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, growing up. And it wasn't until you get to your 18, 19s, 20s that you can find and fully appreciate a Prince album.
Sure, yeah, because his music does, and you're right. Even like, obviously lyrically, he was a very, I get what you're saying, but like, but even he has like his songs don't make sense until you're older too. Like the music behind his songs don't make sense until you're older. It's like, yeah, you can listen to Thriller and bop around as a kid, but if you put on the beautiful ones by Prince, you're not going to get that song when you're 8 years old. It's like,
sure won't. Play that back a few more times in life.
That's right. That's right. Oh yeah, by the way, one more thing. You got to send me, somewhere I can send this to, but I told you about that Shaq rookie card.
Got that. Yeah, man. I'll definitely get that to you probably by the end of the day.
Yeah, just let me know. I'll send it down. I've been making a little bit of money doing this thing, so it's kind of fun.
And you love it. That's the most important thing, is that you're doing something you love.
Right. All right, buddy. Well, this has been fun, and if you ever think of an idea or something you want to do again, let me know.
Of course, man. I'll definitely have to bring you in on one of mine, and we'll do something like that again. Do something like this again, or we can do another mid-season review, see where we're at, and talk about some other topics.
Yeah. What was the Amazon superhero show? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Which one?
Did you see The Boys?
There's The Boys and there's Invincible. Invincible is the cartoon one.
The Boys. Have you watched that?
Yeah, I just finished it.
You like it?
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. It was more really like crazy. It kind of reminded me of like Amazon version of the Injustice by DC, like where Superman went evil.
Okay. Isn't there a new Suicide Squad coming out?
Yep. Is it this month or next month? Soon.
I haven't even watched a new Space Jam yet, so I gotta catch up.
Oh boy, I'm in a rush. But yeah, I don't know if I'm not in a real rush to see it. I feel like it's probably going to be good for the children of this generation, but
Space Jam?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've ever heard of this podcast. It's called How Did This Get Made? And it's like a bunch of actors who like are like borderline comedians, and like they get together and review like bad movies. Like they just, terrible, like, it's all funny. And they did an episode about Space Jam, and it was like, if you watch that as an adult, it's really not that good of a movie. It's kind of
like I said, and that's why I don't think this one is going to be that good as an adult. This is not movie.
right. It's a kids movie.
Just like Prince and Michael Jackson. This is not for us. This is for the children. And
Here we are.
I feel like maybe more adults are trying to make it make sense because they feel like they grew up with the Bugs Bunny and whatnot. But when we were kids, our parents already had Bugs Bunny, so it's still not even for us. Yeah. Like this is just something that will just continue to recycle and go down. I mean, who's going to be the next one? Will it be Steph Curry? I don't know. Space Jam 3? Who knows? Going down the line, there'll probably be a third Space Jam when we're old. And we'll be old in a rocking chair and be like, this ain't better than the one with Michael Jordan. Like, and that's
all right. Well, you know what? All right. I gotta tell you this story. Remember Anthony Pryor?
Mm-hmm.
He came over the other day, and this is a guy who is a good friend of mine, and he's not a sports focused guy. Anthony likes cars. He's got his own things, but I was showing him some of these cards I got, that are worth some money, and just to be a pain in the butt, he had to delve into even though he doesn't know what he's talking about, had to delve into the LeBron versus MJ debate. And it's like, who you got? Who do you have, Clyde?
I feel as though I'm gonna pick MJ because as a kid, that's
MJ never lost. MJ never lost. LeBron has lost what, 3 times? I don't know.
That's a whole different thing. Like, look at Tom Brady. Tom has been to the Super Bowl.
Has lost. You're right. Times. Yep.
He's lost 3. No, he's been to 10 times now. He's been to 10 Super Bowls.
He's 7-3?
He's 7-3.
That's pretty good.
But you're not going to say he's not the GOAT of football. You're not going to say he's the GOAT quarterback. Who's a better quarterback? Like, people will do the Joe Montana because he never lost.
Yeah. That's a good. But
you're I've been to twice as many Super Bowls as you. We're talking about a team that went to 13 AFC championships. Like, in 20 years, that your record, whether you lost or not, your record is impeccable. Like 13 championships, like 10 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
You have a record, you have a Super Bowl record that some quarterbacks is their regular season record.
Right. No, it's true. I mean, it's a dumb barstool debate. It doesn't matter. Like, people get too hung up on this whole, like, who's the best at this or that. It's like, for me, I think about it in terms of like musicians. Like, it's like comparing Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan or Eric Clapton. Like, they were all great at what they did. So who cares? Why do you need to rank it? It's like,
we're all here enjoying it. I'm just here to watch. It's all
right.
All relative. I mean, like, I feel like there wouldn't have been Jordan put the game where it was for LeBron to want to be that and be better.
Right. No, it's true. Jordan did. I mean, I grew up, my dad is a big Celtics fan. So I grew up watching guys like, Bird and Magic, and like even the guys who came before Jordan, and we're currently in the Olympics and we're losing games to Nigeria and Australia. And I'm like, the 92 Olympic team would not have lost to Nigeria or Australia.
Nah. At the same time, so many people come here and play in the NBA and then go home and play for their home teams for the Olympics.
Right.
So a lot of these countries have NBA All-Stars on their teams.
I mean, we have Kevin Durant, so that should be enough.
Look out.
Jason Tatum too, I love him. He's he's really good. He's really good.
Unless what I'm saying, so unless they're holding out for the official games to start to go hard.
Well, yeah, they are, because the Suns are still in the finals, so we got Devin Booker coming too, whose rookie card I have, and it's just, as long as they keep winning, it just keeps making me money, so it's a good thing.
That's
all right, buddy. Well, I will. This has been fun. Thanks for doing this with me. I'm gonna try to figure out how to like edit it and make it all work. Maybe I'll give you a call because I don't know anything about that. But You have yourself a great rest of your day, man. It's been fun.
You too, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, see you, buddy.